My name is Perry Dean Ward,
And I'm Aaron Pearson.
and this is Finn.
Morning, morning.
Morning.
How you doing, brother?
Doing really well. How are you? How was your trip?
It was really, actually, really good. You can't go wrong with Cabo at all.
I can't remember where I went.
Say it again.
I can't remember where I went. Was it Cabo? Was that closer?
No.
Oh, I went to Cancun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty sure you went.
I went to Cancun.
It's horrible life when you can't remember which part of Mexico you're in.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was nice. The wedding was really
blast.
nice. Good friends, good people. Just it was a good time. I may or may not have partaken in a little bit of the adult beverage, but no, it was good. Had a good time and got some sun, and here I am.
Rested and ready to run.
How was it here?
You know what? It was just as hot, probably.
It was probably hotter
It was
here.
hot. Yeah, it was hotter. It's been a little bit of a heat wave for us. I think everybody knows that.
You know what was bad down there is the humidity. Holy cow, dude. Like literally, I thought for sure I was going to lose 10 pounds, and I
Cancun
didn't.
wasn't that way.
Oh, it was so humid.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was good. Good. Well, welcome to Beards on the Street. I'm Perry Ward,
Aaron Pearson.
and here's our next episode. Hold on to your shorts.
We wanted to kind of go into some real estate specific topics today, just kind of get really into some meat. Really what we're going to kind of go into is, it's still an overview, a broad overview. We'll get into a little bit of detail, but not much. But the home buying process.
I love it.
Okay.
Yep.
The home buying process basically, okay, so you get the idea, you're going to start looking at buying a house, and what's next?
What's next?
Well,
For most
you
people,
just go do it? Drive up to the house you want and just go on in? What do you do?
well, no, you can't do that. That wouldn't be prudent.
You know what?
Most
there are
people
that can probably.
Well, probably.
That house.
Right. Hey, listen, I like your house. Oh my gosh. Anyways, no, as far as I'm concerned, you've seen the statistics and you heard it. Most people have actually been looking for, 6 months before they even consider hiring an agent like us to move forward. It's just, we're in a technology age, and they spend a lot of time online scoping through homes and areas and whatnot that comes along with it. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, it's said anywhere is upwards of even 2 years where the idea is starting to formulate.
Right.
The life's kind of coming into alignment. People are starting to kind of make transitions or make moves in their finances in preparation to buy a house. But there's some things that are really timely and opportune that we have to kind of look at, help through, and be able to manage so it becomes a good process.
Right.
Nothing like showing up to want to buy a house or getting an agent and making an offer on something and realizing, oh shoot, I got some stuff to handle. And that does happen.
It does.
It really does.
Yep.
So our goal is to kind of walk through a process and help it be so it can be a plan, but it's also when it comes time that you're ready to actually make that move, that you're actually ready to make
Exactly.
that move. So
Yeah, no, I like it. I've got a pretty specific process, and I know you do as well, with my clients that it's my job to help them navigate through all the ins and outs of the real estate industry, and we're the experts in the field, they're not, and so it's our job to make sure that they are getting the proper information and that we're showing them the proper homes and helping them either through the process of elimination or whatever process to get them to the right one.
I kind of grew up in this, and my dad taught me. I used to be able to spend time with him. I would go get in the car and go sit in the car while he'd go into appointments.
Really?
That was my way to be able to see my pops. So anyways, good memories. That's where I fell in love with real estate. He'd walk out just sparkly eyed, excited, in love with the client.
Yeah.
Like what he was going to help this family go do, where they were going, what they wanted. And I watched that and I'm like, wow.
You know what? That really is a big part of it, Aaron. I mean, I love all my clients, but there is something special about helping a first-time home buyer get into their very first home and be there through the whole entire process. It's pretty special.
You're really not just helping someone buy a home. It's
a life-changing ordeal.
it's the culmination of someone taking that next step into their life. It's Christmases, it's birthdays,
Yeah.
it's first teeth falling out. It's, I mean, it's a beginning phase of their life.
Exactly.
And so it's what I fell in love with. But a lot of folks, right now with you mentioned earlier, technologies and whatnot, people are hopping online. You're able to shop and look at real estate, do virtual tours, get a clear idea of the areas you want. And a lot of times, a lot of that's happened before we ever even meet them.
Yeah.
And so what we're trying to do now is say, okay, you've been online, you've been looking at houses.
You're ready to pull the trigger and get
Yeah,
serious.
you know you want to buy one. What's
Yeah.
next?
What's next?
Okay, so here we go. What we try to really, we really like to do with the client is be able to meet with what's called initial buyer consultation. The goal of a buyer consultation is to sit down. It's to take it's to take the idea, all the good, warm and fuzzies, and then bring a little bit of reality into it. I don't mean to be super serious there, but it's to help the folks. Your phone ringing.
Oh, well,
I don't know if that'll impact your.
I don't think so.
Okay, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Anyways,
Guess we'll find out.
so it's basically okay. So you have this. You're excited, and what we're gonna get looking at buying at houses, but what's that entail? So sitting down in a buyer consultation is really to analyze your wants and needs. It's to help get a little bit of clarity and direction around. I just want to own a home. So it's wants and needs, and what that typically entails is how do you work through that yourself?
Honestly, like I said, I have a pretty specific process. So fairly early in the process of helping them find a home, I like to sit down with my clients, especially after I've shown them, 2 or 3 homes, let them kind of get their feet wet and get a feel for exactly what it's like. I'm pretty verbal when I go through the homes with them, and I'm the kind of agent where I like to point out not only the good stuff, but I like to point out the negative stuff that I'm seeing, because I'm in homes every day. So, and I think my clients really, really appreciate that. Me just talking to them and saying, hey, listen, you didn't notice this. This is something you definitely want to be aware of.
Some of that just comes to mind when you're talking like that. So some of those things may be, 2 bedrooms on a level versus 3,
Correct.
or
Windows.
or being on a busy road.
Right.
When you're buying a house, you're excited about your living there, but you've also got to think about how you're going to come out of it or how you're going to sell it. So you begin with the end in mind. So we discuss marketability, future ability to be able to actually sell the home and get you out of it and make a good income on it when it comes time to actually move on to your next property. So wants and needs. What else are we doing?
Wants and needs, and then like I said, after I've done a few showings with them, and I'm really starting to get to understand what it is they want. I've got a couple of forms that I've created. They're very simple and very easy. Like one, I know it sounds very basic, but man, it really, really helps my clients eliminate and because you've been there 100 times with clients where one time they're saying this, the next time they're saying that, and there's just kind of a lot of indecision on, and they're sending you homes that, for example, let's say
They told you they didn't want to be in West Valley, and all
they're
of a sudden
sending you
there's a
homes
West
in West
Valley.
Valley,
You're like,
or they're
what?
Yeah, or they said one of their absolute must-haves is finished basement, and they're sending you homes that don't have a finished basement, which can always be finished, and I get it, but it's a process of elimination. So what I like to do is just the pros and cons, and I basically like to have them list on one side of the paper things that are absolute dead drop, have to have.
Okay.
And on the other side, it's things they would like, but they're not deal breakers. And those change as you're out and about. But what it really does for my clients is it really helps solidify in their mind what is really important to them. It's one thing to say it. It's another thing to write it down and actually look at that list. And then I just tell them, listen, you made the list. If it doesn't have this stuff on the left-hand side, don't send it to me. Or if you do send it to me, I'm going to point out to you that it doesn't have this stuff, because it just helps eliminate it down. Mm-hmm. The second little worksheet that I like to do, because again, a lot of people, it's talking about what you were saying, West Valley and the area that they want to live in. You've got to simplify it. So I basically have what looks like a target paper. So in the middle of that target is where they're going to live. And then you go out from that ring. So, where they live. Is it in the school district they want? Is it by the church they want? Is it, it's very specific to where that house is. Is it where they want to be? Then you go out a ring and you're just talking community. Mm-hmm. Is it by the again, schools? Is it family?
By the Jordan River Walkway, or is
walkways,
it
paths. I mean,
mountain
it's just
biking.
a little broader circle, and then you go out to the bigger circle, and that's time to drive to work, downtown, if that's something that's important to you. But it just, again, it really helps them solidify in their minds that, okay, this is an area I really want to be in, because it fits for what we want.
A lot of times people they just hop on, they get excited about looking at real estate, so it draws them literally all over, and they don't realize, holy crap, that's 45 minutes away from my job.
Yep.
So you're saying you're helping them kind of gather their thoughts, corral their information, and come up with something where you've helped them define
Exactly
what they want, the lifestyle they want, and really the home they want. Then it lets us go do our job.
And you know what? I mean, I know you totally get it, Aaron, but it makes our job easier. Not that I'm looking for an easier job, but more importantly, it makes it so it's not such a nerve-wracking, freaking pull your hair out, I can't stand doing this with the client.
Yeah, it alleviates a layer of stress for them by us doing a little bit of time up front to help them get clear.
Exactly.
Okay, so next on the process, we've had that meeting. We know they want to do something. Next on the process would be getting them connected directly to a lender.
Yes, sir.
So there's a lot of agents that won't even let people go look at homes.
Unless.
I think there's a general idea of whether you're credit worthy or whether you're ready for that. We'll often do that, but very quickly, very, very quickly, we put them with our preferred lenders. And
they're the best in the industry.
and that's why they're our preferred
That's why
lender.
they're our preferred lender.
They've tried and true. They've shown they can be dependable. We don't get to closing and have hiccups or frustrations. It's because all those frustrations have been handled up front. And really, again, that's not for us. That's
It's for the client.
It's for the client. Is to go through the hurdles necessary to prepare yourself to buy a home, and then go shopping.
And I know that you feel the exact same way. When I have a client come to me that's already pre-approved or they have a lender,
Yeah, I
just go,
I just closed one. I just closed one, and it was not.
didn't go smooth, Aaron?
No, it still happened on time, but I'll tell you what, my poor client, first-time home buyer, he was stressed.
Yep.
I mean, had to pull a cosigner in the last second, had rate hikes and adjustments and changes. I mean, had a percentage of down change. We're talking major stuff that normal
Right.
people can't weather through and actually still buy. This kid was able to. Wasn't the experience he wanted, but you know what? It got done. But I can tell you, it wouldn't have happened with our lenders.
Exactly.
It wouldn't have. But
Nope.
so
Brett, here's a shout out to you, buddy.
That's right. So getting with a loan officer is super critical, but it's really for you, so you know what it is you can do when you go buy a house. But secondly, when we go to finally make an offer, no good realtor on the other side is going to accept or even look at our offer without a pre-approval letter at minimum.
And most of the time, they're going to call that lender and dig deeper.
Yeah.
If they're a good real estate agent.
Right.
It's a major part of the process. I personally, I don't have a problem going out and showing a client a couple of homes before, or on that first showing. I'm going to have this conversation with them.
It's dating. They want to see
Yep.
who you are.
I'm not one of
You
those
know?
agents where, hey, if you're not pre-approved, sorry, I'm not going to help you.
Yeah.
I'm not that uptight,
Yeah.
or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, you know what? It's part of their process, I think, as a consumer, is to see who we are, how we operate, if they even want to be in business with us. So I think that's part of their process.
Yeah.
So, alrighty. So from there, being able to get with a lender, I mean, there's going to likely be a little bit of work to do.
Yep.
Okay, so there's going to be gathering of documents, all the stuff to get prepped to actually have an approvable mortgage, and sometimes there's credit to get worked through. That's kind of the big thing. It'd be pretty frustrating to get out there and fall in love with a house, and then not be able to
And then
buy
lose
it,
it.
and have to wait 6 months while you get a derogatory credit mark off your credit.
Yeah, that'll knock you down a notch or two.
Yeah, it really will. So, again, following this process, it'll alleviate a huge amount of stress in the process for you as a buyer or home buyer.
Right.
Okay, so what's next, Dean?
Well, it talks about the market education and viewing properties. We've kind of already discussed that. We're already well into that.
Let me tell you a little bit about part of that process when we're looking at houses. One of the brokers in my office here had a fun process. Actually, I think it's Rob, a buddy of mine named Rob. He's a super fun guy. He owns a company called Thanksgiving Heroes. Feeds thousands of people here locally
Yeah.
for
I know exactly
during
what you're talking
Thanksgiving.
about.
Anyways, he has a fun little process. But when we're out looking at houses, so you got their wants and needs. You know where they want to be. We're in an area. We're shopping. We're doing all that. We pick 5 houses to look at. Even that though becomes a little bit, monotonous, but also
Tedious.
Yeah, tedious. The houses start to blend together. You get done and you're like, I don't even remember. But so kind of a fun thing that he does, and I've been teaching our guys to do, as you're going through the houses, it's you first off, you don't leave one house without either ranking it top of pile or second or third or out of contention. But the next thing is also you name the house.
Oh.
So you walk in a house, it's got the pink nursery.
Red shag carpet house.
That's the pink house. That's the red shag house. Or
Dude, I just showed a house recently that had the old school 70s pink bathroom.
oh my gosh. You know what's crazy? When you see those, they're impeccable.
Right.
The workmanship, and
the tubs are like bulletproof.
yeah,
man.
you don't want to. You feel bad touching it because they're such good quality.
Right.
But it's like, do I want my time capsule or do I want
And I also have kind of that same process. I have, again, another worksheet that I give to all my clients when we're actually out looking at homes. And it's pretty much exactly what you just said. I give them, first of all, the MLS printout of the home. And then I give them this worksheet. And what I have them do is while we're driving to the next home, it's usually a husband and wife team or a couple team. And I get them to write down just memorable things or things they
Highlights.
didn't like about it, and they get just like you said, they get to rate the homes, and the ones that are eliminated, just don't even write anything down, just put an X through the paper and throw it on your floorboard, and we're done with that one.
What's fun about this this ranking system and naming system is you just kind of educate the client. Hey, what I've done here is I've taken your wants and needs. We've looked at. You told me what exactly you need. The area, the house, all that. I've picked the very best 5 houses.
Exactly.
The very best 5 houses.
Yep.
Our goal is at the end of this is, and your goal, I know making an offer is scary, but our goal at the end of this is to have gone through all 5 of the top best that I've selected.
And one of them's it.
And the end product is the house that's the top of the pile. Either there's enough of an emotional connection and excitement about the house, but our goal would be to make an offer at the end of the showing
Yep.
today. So.
Nope, I like it. And that comes back to not trying to toot real estate agent horns, but if you are doing your job and doing it correctly, you're going to be putting the proper properties in front of your clients. And that takes some work, and it takes some shutting your mouth and listening and finding out what the needs and wants are of that client.
Yep.
It's a pretty big deal.
The thing that's fun about buying a house, or at least writing an offer, it's kind of a scary stage in the process. That's where we're at actually at this point in the process. But writing an offer doesn't change any of the controls the buyer has. All it really does, writing the offer, is basically saying, I'm under contract. I'm in control. Now it's my decision whether I want to buy this house,
Right.
or I can release it with no penalty.
Exactly.
But no one else can buy this great house out from underneath me. I'm in control.
You're locking it down for that's why you have a due diligence period.
That's right.
That's what it's all about. You want to make sure, I mean, it's one of the biggest purchases of your life. Yeah, if you need freaking 10 days to decide that yes, it's it, or no, it's not, then you have every damn right to have those 10
Should we
days.
take the time to go into that part of the contract, or do we do that another time and just go through the process?
You know, I mean, we could talk for an hour on this, and you know we could. I mean, when it comes down to writing an offer, it's there's just so much involved. I know a lot of people think that it's just a matter of putting a bunch of writing on a piece of paper, but man, it's so much more involved in that. You know, the negotiation side of it, the talking to the other agent and finding out their client's needs and wants. I mean, I could sit here, like I said, I could talk about it for an hour on all the steps and everything that if you're doing your job correctly, you know, what it takes to actually make a valid, strong offer and competitive. Anybody can write an offer, but to make it competitive is a whole different ballgame.
Let's go into the offer process
Okay.
on a later one. But then, so to follow, let's say we've got a house now. We've
Yep.
selected it. We were able to write a contract.
Yep.
What's next as a process to the
What-
buying process?
That contract is presented to the other side, and then if you've written a good contract and you win, then you go under contract, which means that the other side, the sellers have accepted your offer. No matter what that looks like, they've accepted your offer, and based on what you as the agent and your client have decided as far as due diligence and financing and all the other deadlines, the clock starts.
Okay. So from there, we have basically 4 days to submit an earnest money.
Yep.
Earnest money, guys.
Four calendar days.
4 calendar days. But at that point, earnest money typically is, it can be all different types of money. It can be all different amounts, but traditionally these days it's about 1% of the sales price. Would you agree?
Right. I agree.
Okay. So what that earnest money is a good faith deposit. It's money that's your money that gets held with our company trust account. So it's a non-interest bearing trust account, non-commingled. It's your money. It's secure. It winds up at closing as part of your proceeds to sell. So that goes towards your down payment, or goes to it's
Closing costs,
It's
whatever.
applied to your cash to close scenario, which has also been figured out with your lender visit. Okay. So for beyond that, next would be we would coordinate and provide a few names for home inspectors.
Yep. Home inspectors, radon tests, which usually is done by the home inspector.
There's like 30 different layers to
Right.
a home inspection that as a consumer that you're able, and we suggest you do.
Yes.
But
Highly.
yeah, but so it basically, when you're walking through and you're excited about a house, we've been through thousands of homes, but
Thousands.
But I'm not a contractor. I mean, I can see a few things. I can see a broken window, or I can see curling roof,
Right.
Or I could see a
Really-
big
really
giant
obvious things.
crack in a foundation. I could see that, but I'm not the pro. So we bring in a third party whose job is to go through that home with a fine tooth comb and tell us what we're getting. I call it a Carfax.
Yeah, I like it.
We get a car
House
fax.
facts.
A house fax. Yeah, we get, and now we're excited about it.
Hey, brother Steve, my brother's on here. He's an appraiser, total stud.
How's it going, Steve? So really, we're all excited. We all want the house, but what is it we're actually spending this money on?
You have every freaking right to know exactly what it is you're buying.
So the inspector comes in. They provide us with a detailed report, and then we get to look at it, and we communicate with the buyer and learn what are the non-negotiables, things that are important in the condition of the home. So a lot of times, a lot of the stuff there's been maintenance throughout the time of ownership, but the majority of actually what's found I've seen is stuff that the seller doesn't even know about.
Right.
It's this long-term, whether it's settling or where or whatever. They've done their best to give us the seller disclosures and give us an idea of what they know is wrong with the house. But this is our opportunity to find out what's really wrong with the house and determine whether we want to stay in it and buy it.
You know, and a whole other aspect of this is once you know exactly what is going on there, you know, if you haven't started that knowing that other agent and started that open communication, and say there is something major. Let's say that you know the furnace is about ready to go out, and they're going to have the expense of a furnace. You know, there again in lies, it's our job as the real estate agents to be able to negotiate that and to talk to the other agent and try to get some kind of relief for our client. Because again, I mean, you're talking to a first-time home buyer. You know, if they move into a house and something goes down and it's $10,000,
They've scraped together
Everything they
every
can.
penny they have
Yeah.
typically to get into this house, and it would be catastrophic to have a $5,000 furnace go out or whatever, you know.
and I know I keep kind of flowing back to that whole negotiating thing, but I mean, honestly, Aaron, that's a big part of what we do.
Yeah, that's
you
where
know,
our money-
if
our
you're a
money's earned.
strong negotiator and you're good at it, you know, it's a win-win for everybody.
It really is. So, I mean, ultimately the seller wants to sell. They have a plan. They're going somewhere else, maybe a job transfer, or they're upgrading to a new home. A lot of times this stuff is a surprise. And as you can imagine, sometimes it's a sizable surprise.
Right.
But the interesting thing is they now know about it, and to sell their home, they have to handle it.
And quite frankly, if it's not a surprise, then they should have expected it anyways.
Right. So we hop in, we handle that negotiation, we do all the communication, we make sure that as a result, you're now, it's been negotiated in a way that as a buyer, you're still excited and feel like you're getting a value.
Exactly.
So we work through the negotiations of that, and then beyond that, we give the okay to the lender to go ahead and order the appraisal.
Yep.
Reason being is due diligence, and we'll get into this later in a different podcast, but the due diligence is your time as a buyer to do everything you need to be able to feel good that you're buying a good asset, condition wise. You know, you've asked all the questions, you've checked all the different things out about the property, and then now that we know about it, we've negotiated. Now we're either in the deal, or we're pulled out of the deal, or something's been negotiated and we're moving forward with the transaction, so appraisal gets ordered.
Exactly. You know, title, it's on here. I'll just cover it real fast. Title is automatic here in the state of Utah. It's going to happen. You know, homeowners insurance and all of that. So, I mean, that starts the second that you go under contract. You know, we send the contract up to the TC that works for our team. That's a transaction coordinator, and she starts the ball rolling on title and all of that's involved.
Basically, title it's another clearinghouse essentially. It's a third party that is verifying the vesting of your home. So
No liens.
tax liens, encumbrances, different things that impact the value of your home.